And we're back. Final weekend of the season. Welcome to the very end of the season. As if it needed saying. It's the Mickey, the Magic, and the beautiful game. On a weekend where fans of so many clubs started digging out their passports, but not me. And thankfully, I hasten to add, all I'm glad to say is I've got 3 other people who are shining off, dusting off those passports, ready for a European adventure next season. So, big welcome, Stephen, Charlie, and Nick. We've made it. It's the end of the season.
Yes, awesome.
And we're in the Champions League.
I knew you, man. He's just been waiting for that for months.
49 seconds. 49 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, we've got your team to thank. There you go. Your team to thank for help with contribution.
You helped, yep.
Yeah, it's not even bittersweet. I would have rather we lost.
He's not happy when they win. He's not happy when they lose. He was going to be happy. Next season, I think we've got to make it between the 3 of us, Charlie and John, is getting Nick to be happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a bet you don't want to take.
I've got to admit, Nick, and I know we've said this past couple of weeks about the qualification for Europe. I am completely ambivalent about it. I'm quite pleased we haven't qualified because it would just paper over many a crack for Everton Football Club. And I also am rather glad Leeds picked us in the 9th place because Leeds have played far more entertaining football all season. But you must be glad that you beat Arsenal. You beat Arsenal. That's it. Every Spurs fan across the land are now delighting. Yeah. They're out celebrating tonight the very fact that they picked Arsenal to that very last Europe spot. So that's it. That's Spurs are set for the summer now. It doesn't matter who your manager is. Doesn't matter where Harry Kane goes. You're going to Europe next season. That's all that matters. And Arsenal are not.
Well, it's sort of a double-edged sword with that because, we picked Arsenal and they've not got European football for, what is it, their first time in 20...
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, a long time.
But then West Ham finished above us, which is a really, really, really bitter pill to swallow. Because, believe it or not, I hate West Ham more than I hate Arsenal.
Behave, man. Behave.
No, I absolutely.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't have thought that, Nick. Would you be
purely because Arsenal have been far more a successful team. So, but over the let's just take that 22 years as a round robin. Over 22 years, Arsenal have been far superior than Tottenham have, apart from the last, 6 years, say?
Yeah.
West Ham have been...
7 years, I'd say 6, 7 years,
West Ham have been terrible throughout. And now, because they've finished above us, this will be like, West Ham won the World Cup in 66. You will never hear the end of it as a Tottenham supporter.
66 was yesterday, wasn't it, Nick?
But, I mean, coming from a Tottenham supporter, as soon as I hit 60, 70 years old, I'm going to have friends or West Ham supporters come up to me and go, remember that season in 2021 when we finished 3 points above you? Seriously? That's what it's going to be like. So it's bittersweet in a sense that, we finished above Arsenal, but then West Ham finished above us.
To be honest, Nick, I'd take my hat off to West Ham because I think they've been the surprise package of the season. I think they played really well. I think we said it all the way along is the fact that they've probably been the one club that's really benefited from not having their own fans shouting abuse at them and in their own stadium, and they've actually been allowed to play football. I really give credit to them because with Moyes has actually proven a point to fans of a number of clubs now, and very possibly Sunderland. Having watched Sunderland's last minute desperation attempt to avoid getting back into back into the Championship yesterday. So it's just Sunderland all over. And if anyone's watching who's a Sunderland fan, I tell you what, I really do sort of worry as to where your club's going next, because it needs an absolutely massive rebuild there. And for a team that were a Premier League club, was it only 5 seasons ago, to have spent the last 3 seasons in League One, and now to go back again and do another season must be heartbreaking. And it could happen to anyone, So you look at the fact that I know the very first show, and I came across a very glass half empty Evertonian, but I must admit, the minute we got to 40 points, I was quite glad. And when you think that Burnley have stayed up and they had 39, that 40 point mark wasn't too far away from the bit where you actually realise you're not going to get dragged into it. So, anyway, I digress. Where should we start tonight? Should we start we'll start with the Anfield rap from these two. Go on, just leave these two for it. Go on, have your moment, lads. Because it's a long time coming.
I'm just going to
put Charlie at the top with me, because that's where we feel we are today.
Whoever doubted? Who doubted?
You say.
Nobody doubted. Come on. We knew it was happening. We knew we were going to end up in third. The only thing I was thinking about this season, though, is Jurgen did make some mistakes, I thought. When his centers all got taken out by Pickford, all 6 of them. He should have had more faith in his academy players to put them in there right away, instead of breaking the spine, playing Fabinho out of his position. Even though he's a great center back too, but he was so much more needed in midfield. And how many games did Klopp put him as center back when he should have kept him in midfield? 6, 7. I think if he would have trusted in Phillips and Reece Williams a little bit earlier, we could have been battling for second instead of third, or just trying to stay in the top 4. We could have been battling for second, possibly. So, other than that, it was a really messed up season, for so many teams. It's like nobody wanted to be in the top 4 except for Man City. Everyone kept on, every time someone would pull up a little bit, then they'd screw up a couple games and then get back down into the mix. It was like between Leicester and Liverpool and Chelsea, is like no one wanted the top 4. They kept on screwing up. Yeah, definitely an interesting season. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Third is respectable, especially, you kidding me, with what happened to our team this year? Anyone would have told you like 2 months ago that we were going to come out third, we would go, yeah, we'll take it. We'll definitely take it.
No, I'd agree with that. I think as well, and I think this is, you're hitting a nail on the head there. You said it from one of the first weeks, Charlie. Is that the use of Fabinho as centre half just didn't work. It stopped Liverpool from creating anything for the front 3. And it was only once Klopp had actually read and listened to you that things started to change. But there's a little nucleus there of young lads that have been given a chance, which I think from, I'm looking from across the other side of the park, and with sort of envious eyes in some ways, because these lads look as if they're ready for Premier League football, and they look as if you slot them in a side that's got Henderson back in it, got Virgil van Dijk back in it, and you're not playing 3 of them at a time, you're playing 1 of them, and they're getting that Premier League experience. You're saving yourself millions and millions of pounds, and not having a massive rebuild, which I feel my team needs. But the lack of, and I think Nick, you're the same. Spurs seem to have a lack of young players coming through, and it seems to be that it's get the checkbook out because we need to replace a certain player. Get the checkbook out because we need another centre half. Liverpool now seem to have some young lads that are going to come through and going to be able to play, not just at centre half, but actually going to be able to play right back or left back or centre midfield. And that must be really reassuring for you guys. And I think as well that's something that, like I say, it's a little bit of jealousy looking at it because
we know that we do not need to recruit any defenders, no central defenders at all. We have like 6 or 7 or 8, and we could sell some for some really good money too, because now the whole league has seen their quality. It's like, who would have thought Nat Phillips was returning to basically. He was, I would say, he was comparable to, other than a couple of mistakes here and there, but he filled in for Van Dijk. I'd say he did the part. He was the muscle man in the back. He was a monster head king of everything. He's anybody getting head balls on everything. You see all they bloodied up all today, and those guys aren't afraid. They're not afraid to get smashing heads. So, I only worry about the future. I think they need to get rid of what's the guy who scores against Everton all the time. Origi. They need to get rid of him. He's not good enough for the backup. They need a better fourth forward or whatever. They have Jota, which is good, but they need another one besides that. So they can rotate them out and be careful. And when someone gets hurt, that way they can fill in and actually be that high quality. Well, that's what I want them. That's what I want them to get. And hey, I hear Mbappe is available, right?
He's available, Charlie, but we can't afford him.
Yeah,
we can't love him to come. I think you're dead right. I think defensively we've got the Konaté coming in, and I think Phillips, he's spot on. I think he saved us, at least 18 million quid, because I don't think we need to sign Kabak now. I don't think we need to sign him on the full team. I think Phillips has done himself into a really good job of being that fourth choice centre half. Yeah. Once Konaté comes in behind Van Dijk and Gomez, Konaté, and then Phillips, I think those are the four centre backs that we need. I think you're spot on, Charlie. I couldn't agree with you more. As well as the forward line, I think we need to strengthen up there.
I've heard Griezmann's in talks at the moment.
Griezmann.
Antoine Griezmann. Oh, I've not heard that one, Nick.
43 million.
43 million. I'm not being funny. That's a snip, that. That's a snip, that.
He's hell-bent on trying to push it through.
Hang on. I'm just going to get Carlos on the phone. Mr. Ancelotti. Yeah. Could do with someone like him. Mr. Ancelotti.
If Kane does go, if I was Daniel Levy, I'd be sniffing around Griezmann.
Absolutely.
Definitely sniffing around Griezmann.
Absolutely. I can't think of a player in Europe who's been so badly treated. From his move to Barcelona was basically was fated from the very beginning, because he, in a way, it was when he was there with Suarez, he didn't get on with Suarez and Messi. It's long held that him and Messi can't play in the same team together. But I tell you what, you get him and you get him banging the goals in. He's an absolute goal scoring machine. I'd love to see him in the Premier League. I'd love to see him not at Liverpool. I hasten to add. I would love to see him. I'd love to see him in a blue shirt, or even that black one that Everton had on today. It's not red; it's burnt orange. The stripe on it.
It's red.
It looks red on the bloody telly, I tell you.
It's definitely red.
I believe in that hype at all, so therefore it's not getting bought. No matter how nice it is, no matter how much it's reminiscent of the 1891-92 season Everton kit. Nah, it's got red on it. We don't wear it. Not in this house.
We haven't got much going on in the chat, guys, but Sarah's saying, hello, and so is Stacey. R. Addison's jumping in as well. Out of 3 teams, Liverpool, Tottenham and Everton definitely did the best out of all the games. I think that's a sarcastic comment that John sees.
I totally agree. Do you know something? And this sounds really bizarre. I should have the most massive rant tonight. But
Go for
I've
it,
said it.
John. Go for
But I've
it.
said it for the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm supporting a team that look as if they don't. You can tell them in the first 10 minutes if they can be bothered or not. And they were there to get Aguero's shirt today. That's all they were interested in. They just wanted to pick up a Man City shirt the year they won the league, and then we get on the bus, nip off home. You know, I think I text me my kids. There you go, Mickey Mouse is on there.
Spoiler.
I text me kids after the first City goal, and I said, "Look, if this is less than 7, we'll be doing well." So there you go. Result it was only 5. And then the other one, which I thought was really bizarre, was the fact that Gary Neville, for I think City's second goal, actually was trying to describe Everton's problem for the past probably 3 months. And it was playing out right in front of his eyes. And it was just like the fact that they overplayed the ball, they then lose the ball really cheaply. And it happened as he was actually saying it. And I just thought that is the epitome of it. It's just losing it cheaply.
I watched that and I thought he was talking about a replay.
Yeah, it was
literally. Yeah, it was literally just played out in front of him.
Yeah. Michael Keane thought he was Alan Hansen, walking the ball out. He forgot he was playing against Man City, so there was no space. And then somebody nicked the ball off him. And the next thing you know, Gabriel Jesus goes and scores his usual goal against Everton because he always scores against us. And we were rubbish. We were absolutely appalling. You know, the other text they sent me, kids, was the fact we look as if we're playing in flip-flops. Because we were just like, they were on the beach. They could have been in the middle of Dubai or something like that. They didn't give us stuff. And that hurts me, you know.
Yeah. They probably thought they was on our
Sarah, I totally agree with that, you know. It only came into it. I got the email on Thursday or Friday about the new Everton kit. And that's exactly what I've been trying to decide what it is. The sashes that you wear for a hen night. That's it. Got it.
Well,
now.
They could be the sashes that the suffragettes used to wear.
I'll tell you one thing. So we wear that.
I've not seen it.
It's not a nice look. In fact, Man City used to have a kit, and I thought it was like a tribute to City in a way. City had a kit in the 70s. I think it was a white one with a red and black sash that went across it. So, you know, obviously we've taken care of it, you know.
Got it. I'm going to get it up, John. You just keep chatting. I'm going to see what
you're looking for your man, aren't you? But
I'm going to get it up.
Like I say,
get it up so people can see visually what you're talking about here and what we're on about.
The nice 60 quid new Everton top that's
60 quid. That's cheap.
Yeah, then we got thrashed 5-0 on its debut today. But yeah, like I say, I'm not going to have a rant because it came as no surprise. And what really pleased me was the fact that City, actually Aguero in particular, had the chance of saying goodbye properly, and scored his goal to become was at the highest scoring Premier League goal scorer from overseas or whatever accolade he got. But I'm pleased with that, and also I'm looking forward to the Champions League final now because I think City again have meddled with their team today. They got 90 minutes.
Before you, sorry, John, sorry to interrupt. You jump on. I've got it. I've got the new sashed kit.
It's like a polo shirt.
Yeah, that's definitely not orange. That's red.
I read even on the telly today. It looked like red. So, hey ho.
They come out in on their horses with their little mallet.
I tell you one thing, Charlie. The horses would have played better than the donkeys that were out there today. I tell you.
I'll tell you what, Charlie. Seeing you're over in the States, I'll tell you what. Take a shirt and pass it over to Harry, will you? Polo.
Yeah, be like one of the sashes his mother wears. Or his grandmother. Sorry, yeah, that's.
It's like the suffragettes, isn't it? So let's go on here. Let's have a little bit of rip into Everton in a minute. Like suffragettes, John. You know, the suffragette sashes. You know what I mean? When you're suffering in the shadow of Liverpool at the minute, so you might as well have a suffragette sash.
Well, I tell you, we're just suffering. We're suffering, and like Nick had said a few weeks ago, you know, you pick apart your own team, and you pick apart where they need strengthening. The bit that really bugged me last night, and we were doing a little bit of digging on social media, was the fact that James Rodriguez, who for all we got him for next to nothing from Real Madrid, and he's played a few games for us. You know, he's played more games for us this season than he's played for Madrid for about the past 3. But he's off to Colombia. He's off home to Colombia. He wasn't going to the game today. He's been allowed to leave early, and I'm thinking that it just sends the wrong message. You know, I don't care what anyone says, but you're a team, and you've got to be there as a team. You've got to support each other as a team. Yeah. You know, for the same respect was shown by Maguire for Man United, as he's turned up for all their games. He's sat in the stand. He's at his boot on the actual boot that's encasing his foot that's busted and things like that. Mm-hmm. But he's there and he's shouting the team on, and that's what you want from it. You know, not just disappearing back to Colombia so you can have a bit more rest before the Copa America. You know, it just sort of it didn't sit right for me, and I think that performance today really sort of summed it all up. But they all packed up 3 weeks ago. They didn't fancy playing on a Thursday night, so you know, and it's Everton all over, and unfortunate.
Is Colombia on the grey list?
No, it's not. It's just like no. They were meant to be sharing the Copa America with Argentina, which is also on the red list, but Colombia are no longer hosting due to some irregularity or another, which is probably best not to ask about when it comes to South American football. But it just thought, you know, that sums it up. So Argentina are now solely hosting the Copa America. So that basically means that Messi is just going to get sort of the Copa America in his back pocket, come what may. Yeah. But hey, I can't even pretend that I'm interested because it's that corrupt. So I wouldn't even begin to think. But yeah, Everton's season ended far too many weeks ago, and I think they'd all decided they were all disappearing. But it's not good. And I'm going to twist it around the other way, because one team that should have packed up and gone to the beach was Sheffield United, and they won today. So yeah, and I thought, you know, fair play to them. You know, this. Talk about turning around a really awful season and what they've actually managed to do. They've managed to actually pick up a few results at the end of the season to just show that
they won 7. Yeah. They won 7. They won 7 games this season.
That goes back to what we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, where it was as soon as you're relegated, pressure's off. Yeah, because you can think about next season. Don't matter if you win or lose now. Yeah. So then. They play a lot more comfortably because it's not, well, we're not fighting relegation. We could try and stay up. You're already down, so the pressure's not there.
Yeah. Talking about relegation and promotion, that sort of talk. Brentford.
Yeah, now this is. Do you know something? What a game that was yesterday.
I don't know if you got the playoffs over there, Charlie, but that is probably, if you can get hold of highlights of the Brentford game on Saturday, watch them, because I swear it is probably the best game of football I've seen. Not just this season, but I'd say the last 2 seasons. It was really had everything. The first half, especially penalty claims, goals, you know, red cards. It was great. Just a great proper game of football. It was brilliant.
It was coming up then.
No, they're in the final. In was it 10? Was it 2 weeks' time, something like that? Was it? Is it? I don't even know. It's next. It might be next weekend, isn't it? I think it's next weekend, isn't it?
Not next week with the Champions League final as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure they've got it next week. But don't hold me to it. Don't hold me to that.
It's 3 o'clock next Saturday, the 29th of May, and they're playing Swansea City.
Swansea City, yeah. I thought Brentford were brilliant. in that game.
It had everything though. It had a proper sending off for a player rugby tackling someone. Yeah. I was just like
a game of football.
For ages. I've seen it for ages.
Really good.
Can you guys explain to me? I had a question about if Chelsea win the Champions League, does that mean Leicester gets in?
No.
Not anymore, no.
Chelsea now qualified for the Champions League. If it was the other way round, if Leicester had qualified for the Champions League today, which they didn't, and Chelsea finished in the Europa League slot, Chelsea would have had to have won the Champions League next weekend to play Champions League football next week, which would have had no impact on anybody else. It would then have meant that there would have been 5 teams from England that had gone into the Champions League. Because I checked that out today because I was intrigued because I was thinking if Chelsea, there was one point after about an hour at the Chelsea and the Leicester games where that nearly could have happened until Leicester decided to shoot themselves in the foot once again. I just thought I couldn't believe it, and I felt sorry for them in a way because I know that they've been up there most of the season. They've really deserved. They've played some really good football at times, and once again, Brendan Rodgers is the manager of a football team that just stopped short. I was intrigued. I thought they would have done that today. They had it all, and they had it totally under control, under wraps. And then Spurs decided to turn up for the last half an hour. It was like a Spurs performance that Nick's never seen for years.
Here's a stat for you, John. He put it on the Sky Sports today. Leicester, over the last 2 seasons, have spent more days in the top 4 than any other team.
Yeah.
Any other team.
More than Man City, more than Man United.
Outside the top 4 in those 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Is it 242 days, I think?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time.
I know they were above Liverpool and City, which shocked me.
Yeah.
I thought Liverpool and City would have been the top 2, and then maybe another 2. But Leicester were the most.
It was weird because my son came and he actually rattled the stat off to us because he'd obviously read it on his phone, and he couldn't believe it. And yet, once we started dissecting it, and it's like Leicester had 2 absolutely amazing seasons, and they, in a way, an FA Cup win and 2 Europa League campaigns is possibly selling them short as to what they could have achieved. And I've got to feel for every Leicester fan because I think they were nailed on for the Champions League.
You will?
And I do, yeah. I'm good they never made it because actually I felt that having won the FA Cup last week, and I thought, come on. They deserve to be in the top 4. I think Chelsea have ghosted in their last minute, and
they are definitely not as good as I think they are. Chelsea, no way.
No, I don't think they are, and I'm intrigued.
Being in the Champions League final flatters them massively.
Yeah, but it's that type of thing, Nick. Though, will they turn up next week and they'll play a system that they've been trying to hide for the past 3 weeks, and they'll baffle City, or Pep. Pep will do what he's done 2 or 3 times before, where he'll make the most ridiculous decision as to how his team's going to play. I'm thinking of when City played Liverpool. Was it that night? Was it at Anfield? And he tried to play a system that City had never played before, and you're just like, why does he make that decision on that particular point? And I'm just thinking, I think for City, they've got to be really careful next week. And I don't think, as much as everyone would like to see them win the Champions League, I could see that could be one intriguing game. Just while we're talking about that, because I'm just going back to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and we missed it at the time. And I think after the show, we said, we should have mentioned this. But looking back at the semi-finals, when Paris Saint-Germain decided to become petulant toys out of pram time in their semi, when Di Maria decided he was going to stamp on feet and stuff, and they lost the plot altogether. And this possibly goes back to a lot of Spurs stuff as well, though, Nick. And you look at your manager, who should still be there instead of where Mourinho was, but he's now ensconced in Paris Saint-Germain. And then tonight, they've actually finished second in the French league. So they finished second in a one-horse race, in my eyes. Because given the amount of money that they've actually spent, PSG, they've had everything. They've I think that the Champions League semi-final showed just what a petulant bunch of individuals they were. And I thought, it's really nice to see Lille winning the French league and the money boys once again not sort of not taking the supposed sort of rightful place at the top of the league. It amused me. So that's just a little aside.
It's teams like that, like the Paris Saint-Germain and the Real Madrids, that always seem to, with 4 or 5, unless they've won the league with 5, 6, 7 games to spare, if it goes down to the wire, all your big players are already, especially if they're coming to the end of their contract, are thinking, right, where am I going to play next season? And they're not interested. I mean, Mbappe is probably thinking, right, well, I'm going to Real Madrid next year, so I don't really care. And then Neymar's probably, he's just signed a new contract, isn't he, Neymar?
Yeah, you missed the penalty today as well, so that was...
Oh, jolly good. Don't like him, so.
I don't.
But yeah, it's those sort of players that are like the 5 cents that they just go where the money goes. As much as they say, "Oh, I do it because I want to play for the best team," it ain't. It's you're going there because they're paid the most money. That's all that is.
Yeah. I don't know. And I know it digresses away from talking about Premier League football, but I actually felt it was really important that after it was just a petulant sort of showing when they were at Man City, and I felt that they lacked that class that maybe other teams have shown in the past, and other teams have shown. When you've got to learn how to, if you get beat, then just accept it. You don't start kicking and carrying on and pointing fingers and then start having a carry on, which again brings us back to Chelsea in midweek with Leicester, which turned into a rammy in the midweek game. But hey, that's another one. But I'll leave me Chelsea aisle for somewhere else.
There's talk that they may be docked points, Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh no! I was going to say no. They've got previous though, haven't they? Yeah. So they've been. I think they've been fined 3 times before. So yeah, that'd be interesting.
That would be nice to see them lose the Champions League final, get docked points, and then Leicester take their place. An absolute kick in the teeth that would be. I would love it.
So when are they talking about that? When are they going to decide that they're going to do
knowing the FA and the Premier League, they'll wait to see what the outcome of the Champions League is, I should imagine.
Yeah. Mid-October probably be.
But when the next season's halfway through.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be about right, won't it? So it's off next season. I mean, they're still talking about punishments for the ESL, whether to match what the other countries have done to the other clubs, like 5% of I think it's the team stuff like that, and suspended sentence of docked points rather than docking the points, and but it's.
I've read somewhere that the top 6 are being fined. Get this, 15 million quid.
Pocket change.
Yeah.
Pocket change.
Is it? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I probably own that just season tickets out.
Guys, we're halfway through the show. Half an hour. Right?
And we've not started yet.
I know. I can feel this going on for over an hour, and it's great. I hope it does, because it's our last one of the Premier League season. But we said, didn't we? We revert back to what we did at the start of when we started the show of getting the league up and putting the characters and doing that final settlement. And I've worked hard to getting this table updated.
No, we need to do this, Steve, because you put a lot of work into it.
You put a lot of work into this. Yeah. Don't make it for nothing. Right, so here's the table. Right, so there's the characters. We need to put the characters next to them teams. So come on, people, get enjoying it. Just 9 people watching at the minute. So come on, let's get into the chat.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Start making your recommendations. You know, I'm going to make mine. You know, I'm going to go Hades straight over to the second place. Charlie, do you agree?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. So, come on. Right. So what we've got to do? Let's make it easy. Right. Let's do hero villain. Right. So we'll pick a hero, and then we'll pick a villain. Right. So who wants to go first?
What can I do Chelsea then?
Go on.
I want to say Pinocchio because they're lying to themselves about Agudale.
Yeah, it's a good call.
They don't deserve to be fourth, in my personal opinion.
I think they got to fourth out of default today, Nick, because Tottenham, their great rivals, helped them out.
Yeah, another bit of pill to swallow, really, isn't it?
Yeah, no. And if you actually look at the table of done, guys, right at the start of the season, you can see there's like obviously Man City are in gold there with the winning. Then you got the 4 teams who are going to go into the Champions League in 5th, then in the UEFA Cup. That is actually stretching down. If I'm thinking it correctly now, that stretches down to 8th place because I think there's a couple of places because Leicester's already got a place in the UEFA Cup, haven't they?
Yeah, but that's why West Ham qualify for Europa League.
Yeah, so they go into the Europa League, West Ham, and then
Tottenham do the Europa Conference shenanigans.
Yeah, is it no? But is there not Arsenal in there as well?
No, Arsenal have missed out.
Right, only go down to 7.
Thankfully.
So we're getting into the good old days of when the Cup Winners' Cup was about, aren't we? Really.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
I suppose it's just a rebranded Cup Winners' Cup.
But Spurs haven't won anything. Sorry.
This is it. I thought no. Doesn't the League Cup winners go into that as well?
From next season, I think it is.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But this is what I said a few weeks ago. That's what I think it should be. If like Champions League and whatever, you've got to be a champion of something. You can't just finish wherever you leave and go into it. It's ridiculous. You have to be a champion of something. I think it's more the Champions League because like I said, you've had teams that have finished 3rd and 4th that have gone on to win it, and you're like, champions of what? Champions of 4th place? No. So it should be that you win the league, you win the FA Cup, or you win the League Cup. You get a Champions League because you're a champion of something.
Yeah. I just want to pick my wife up here because I'm sorry. I
was trying not to come across Nick.
So there's the characters anyway. So let's start putting them in. So let's go. So what are you putting there, Nick, for Chelsea? You nominating for Chelsea?
Pinocchio. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Was this for this last week or for the entire season?
For the entire season.
Whole season.
Yeah. It's either for Pinocchio, it's either Chelsea or Tottenham. I just think they've both been lying to themselves.
Yeah. You know what might make this easier, guys, right? It's because we've got Goofy and Mickey in there, right? And if I was to put up, say, where we are with the Mickey League, we've got Leeds and Man City. Man City had a great result today, they smashed Everton 5-0. Not that I would.
I missed that.
Give me a 6, John. So if Man City get the Mickey Award now, they go level points. But I'm going to say this: what we set a rule that whoever gets the Mickey or the Goofy Award gets double points this week. And then we've also got this situation with the Goofy. We've got 4 teams. Wow. I can't believe. I know we vote. I just remember every week Nick was nominating Tottenham. It seemed every week Nick was nominating Tottenham for Goofy, and I went through them, guys. We give them once.
Absolute fix.
But we can give if we give them this week, Nick,
double points. They can jump in the top slot.
Yeah,
Goofy for Tottenham then.
Oh,
just so they could win something.
Do you know something? I can't believe that we've given Leicester a Goofy Award twice.
Twice. Honestly, twice.
Yeah.
I think it's criminal that they've got that. I can understand where Arsenal is. And being 2 Liverpool fans in the room, I can understand why Man United did it.
Yeah.
Actually, can I give my Goofy Award now then?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Leicester again, because they've spent how many days in the top 4 and they've still missed out on Champions League by losing at Tottenham.
Yeah. And I think Nick, especially them being in that place there, and I think this is what we've pulled them on through the season. It's just when they've set themselves up to be a consistently high performing club, they just sort of shoot themselves in the foot. And like I said before, they've got 2 Europa Leagues and a FA Cup to show for 2 seasons where they've possibly been the most consistent side.
Yeah.
But for some stupid performances where they just sort of let themselves down, and then it's at the time where it really costs. And so I think that
you've got a manager like Brendan Rodgers who almost won the league with Liverpool.
Yeah,
he's just failed on Champions League with Leicester. He's the ideal candidate for Tottenham.
I was about to say. I'd agree with that. I'd go with Leicester for the Goofy for the season.
That's harsh, that, boys.
It is today's
performance, but I can understand where Nick's coming from.
I think,
no, yeah, so it makes a good point. Definitely makes a good point there.
Yeah, it is a good point. I'm with it, and I put it on there now. So, okay, Leicester gets the Goofy Award.
Yeah,
Leicester gets the Goofy Award for the season. Obviously, I'll take snapshots in a minute when we go, and I'll put them at the end. Then, guys, we've got the Mickey. So the Mickey, they say, Leeds and Man City. I'll just give you you can't see it on that one, but there's obviously other teams that are just below them that could take over them. And in 3rd place at the minute is Arsenal, alphabetical order. And then we've got Brighton, Burnley, Everton, Man United, Tottenham, West Brom, and West Ham on 1 each. So for me, if you was to give anyone other than Leeds United or Man City, then Leeds United would get it.
Yeah, to be honest, if we go with Leeds, I'm gonna propose that Leeds get given Bell as their award. They've been great to watch, really strong, really entertaining. I don't think they're quite the finished article, but they finished above Everton.
Yeah,
I don't think they're quite worthy of winning the Mickey Award for this season. But I tell you one thing, I think all of us here would be delighted if we were Leeds fans. We'd be sat there and we'd be just like, what a season it's been.
Yeah,
and they've played such fabulous football, and that's that to me. I think we said it in week 1. They got the Mickey Award because when they play well, they can beat anybody. And that goes back to their manager. And Bell for me, something strong and an inner strength.
Good shout. Yeah.
But also, I'm on a roll here as well. I would also suggest Arsenal for Nemo. Now,
hang on, John. Let's just finish the Goofy stuff. So we're going. Man City. Are we giving Man City the Mickey Award?
Oh, I was keeping that for the end of the show. I was keeping the Mickey. Keeping people in suspense. Let's not.
Probably see where this Nemo one's going with Arsenal, but go ahead.
Yeah.
So hang on, we're up to now. Are we giving Chelsea the Pinocchio?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees with Chelsea Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Chelsea Pinocchio, Leicester Goofy. So I need to write this down so that I know where I'm sitting.
I'll share I'll take a snapshot if need be. Right, so I've got Leicester as Goofy, and I've got Chelsea as Pinocchio. And I think, John, you nominated. Who's you nominated as Bell? Who was he?
Leeds.
Leeds.
Okay. There we go. Right, that's a minute. We're locked in, guys. We're locked in.
Oh, that's good.
We're locked in. So let's pick a character there that we haven't done. So Ursula, the sneaky conniving suds. Who are they?
Newcastle, just because Ursula looks like Steve Bruce. I went the same gag week after week. It's this.
I don't know, actually. Ursula.
Come on, Charlie. What do you think? Where are we going with this?
I always like having Newcastle beat Ursula as well. It's just funny.
Well, we can't. Even if me and Nick agree to disagree with you, we probably wouldn't agree with each other. So we'll have to...
Well, I was going to say Man United purely on the fact that their goal difference probably all penalties.
Getting Hades. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not backing off. Getting Hades. See, I told you we'd disagree with you, but we wouldn't agree with each other. So Ursula was, sorry guys, you might be, was just
Newcastle.
Newcastle was that's it, Steve Bruce. Right. There we go. There's that, right. Moana. What do you reckon Moana goes to here?
Oh. Do you know something? I'll go with Brighton.
Is that because they're close to the sea?
No, it wasn't actually, but yeah, I think you probably that. You keep the seaside theme going, couldn't it?
Sorry, not to back me up.
Moana. Oh, that's a difficult one. Southampton, they're on the coast as well.
Do you know what I think too? Do you know, honestly, guys, if you're looking at like what the character is and stuff like that, I'd honestly say West Ham, because I think for a club, the club that the squad they've got, the limited resources they've got, they've really fought hard this season, and so they were in the top four for a long time throughout the season. And to finish sixth and in the European places, that's really good going for West Ham. That's really, really good going. I know, Nick, you're going to go, I don't like West Ham. I can't give it to them. But you have to get your ass off. You have to give credit where credit's due. I know they're only 3 points above you, but I think they've done themselves proud this season. I really do.
I'd probably give West Ham flick because they're punching above their weight. Massively, and they definitely won't be there next season. No,
they won't be in the position they're in this season right now. I agree.
So, but yeah, no, that's what I'd say for West Ham flick. But
Charlie, John, what do you think?
I was more impressed with West Ham. I don't think they were punching above their weight. I think I've always respected Moyes since back in Everton. I actually don't think they're going to fade away. I think they'll be in top 10 next season as well. Just because if Moyes has any type of support and he gets any type of support in bringing people in, I think he'll make the most of it. I am perfectly fine with giving West Ham to Moana.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
3-1, Nick. Sorry, mate, you lost. Right, so Moana. Okay.
I'm just bitter. That's all it is. I'm just bitter.
Let's get Charlie's favourite character, Bray Bear, on. Come on, who are we going to give the Goki one to? Hey, we're getting that one.
I'll go for West Brom.
I was going to say West Brom just because Bray Bear's just like Big Sam, innit?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Well, they've just been a nothing side this season. You've hardly heard from them.
Yeah.
Okay, West
Yeah,
Brom.
they only won 5 games this season, right?
Yeah.
Less than
5 games.
Yeah.
Look at that goal difference. Minus
shocking.
41.
Yeah. Minus 41, and they've actually got an outstanding goalkeeper playing for them in Sam Johnson.
Yeah.
He's a real good prospect. So I think, if any of us are looking at sort of strengthening the goalkeeping department, the lad from West Brom has been brilliant in goal, and I would like my own club to sign him. But yeah, minus 41, and your goalkeeper's superb. Sums it up. It also sums up.
Look at that, Sheffield United, though, they won 2 more games than West Brom and they fell behind them.
Yeah.
Look how many times he lost it. 29 games he lost. 29 games out of 38. That's abysmal.
Well, it just goes. I think that shows that they were going for it. I thought whenever I watched them, I always thought they were not playing scared. They weren't parking the bus. They were actually going for it. And I think that's cost them a lot of games.
I'd agree, Charlie, and I think they only knew that way of playing, and it worked. It worked last season, and they've been unpicked a little bit this season with it. But
there's respect to be given for teams that play not to lose.
Yeah,
and for not to play that, not to lose. They're going for it, and I respect that. I respect teams that aren't afraid to play, not just trying to stay up.
I'm with you there, Charlie. That's why I'm glad West Brom got relegated, because Fat Sam never plays that way.
Yeah.
Right, which character should we do next? We've got.
Can I go back to? I'll go back to Nemo. Nemo with Arsenal, because it doesn't matter what way they were swimming, it was always against the tide. And actually, I know Arsenal fans will probably be so annoyed, and the Arteta out brigade will be there. But for them to actually finish in 8th position with 61 points is a minor miracle. They've won the last 5 in a row to have that finishing position. Arsenal could have finished in 12th if that team had not started performing in the last 5 or 6 games. And I think as well, I think for Arteta, it's been a bit of a baptism of fire. But I think there's potential there as well. And I know Nick probably won't agree because he's a Spurs fan. And I don't have a great love of Arsenal at all. But there's a huge job to be done there, and I think Arteta is actually the person to do it. And even for the fact that I think Steve Bold, who'd been there for 30 years, was let go yesterday. Charlie's messing now. Yeah, are we still on? Are we still on? Yeah, it's squeezing at the side of the screen. But yeah.
I think I'd agree with that and say Nemo for Arsenal, because at times they were all lost at sea.
They were though, Nick, and I think that's been for them to finish in 8th, a point behind Spurs, is a little sort of nothing. It's a little miracle in some ways for them, because I thought they were sort of cannon fodder. Probably about sort of January, February time, they seemed completely lost. And
at some point, wasn't Arsenal even in relegation conversations?
I think we said there was a chance that they could have got dragged into it, and they didn't. They put a run of results together.
Yeah.
I think if he's just got to have one good window. I think this summer's window is so vital for Arteta. I think he needs to have a good transfer window, because I think if you look at the table there, Tottenham, the great rivals, they're only a point behind them. So really, I think they've got a good nucleus to build on. They've just got a good window to go with, and Arsenal fans will be Arsenal fans. They'll want any manager out as soon as they lose a game. They don't need it. They don't need a run of bad results. They just need one bad result, and the Arsenal fans are the most fickle in the game. And the football fans as a whole are probably the most fickle kind of sports fans going. but Arsenal fans take it to a whole new level. So, I think, yeah, we'll do that. I'm just going to take it off the screen for the minute, so everyone can see who we are, and we're not.
Oh, yeah, you're still there.
Yes, yeah. Yes, you're still here. Yes. So we've got Arsenal lose Nemo. So I'll tell you we got left, guys, because you can't see what I'm seeing. So we've got Hercules, which is going to Liverpool, obviously. We've got Captain Hook. We've got Captain Hook. We've got the Tramp. We've got Scar. We've got Dumbo. We've got Flick. We've got Tinkerbell. We've got played by what's her name? Maleficent. Mickey Mouse. Can't believe I forgot her name then. Jiminy Cricket. Cruella de Vil. Hades, which is going to Man United, obviously, and Snow White Queen. Snow White, the Queen of Snow White. So that's what we got left. So if I pick the character, guys, shall we debate?
Come on. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, you pick the character. Come on.
So if we go Cruella de Vil, where are we going with Cruella de Vil? Do you want me to put the table back up? So
you're all right. I'm all right.
Starting to remember why we didn't do this all season.
Yes,
could you imagine? Imagine trying to do this every week. Whose idea was that?
Can I just say something? While I had the screen on, and we were all just like, I can see everyone in the little pictures below, and I could see these two little red lines on my screen. I thought it was something on the camera or something on the screen. I was trying to clear it. It wasn't. It was these two things.
It's the glass. Yeah. Okay.
Monday night dramas. Anyway, come on.
Yeah, sorry, you say again.
Cruella.
That's another difficult one.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I'll be honest with you. I think this is an easy one because they bloody let themselves down because they sacked the manager at the wrong time, knowing they were going for a free fall, going out of the Premier League, going straight into the Championship. You could see halfway through the season what was going on. And they got rid of the one manager they probably go and recruit now. Sheffield United. Yeah. It's got to be.
Yeah.
You know, we got rid of the manager. I'm not going to get into it because I'll be here all night talking about that.
No, I agree with you, Stephen. And I think we said it at the time. It was just like if there was one person that was actually going to see the job through of them going down and coming straight back up again, it was going to be Chris Wilder. And as much as Paul Heckingbottom would like to think that he's going to get the job, having seen his track record, I really doubt that he's going to be able to turn the club around. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and there's a lot of players there that are not good enough to play. But I did have a giggle, and I don't know if anyone's seen it. I had a right giggle. If anyone's seen the Twitter film of Ollie McBurney, Scottish international, abusing somebody who was taking a picture of him on the mobile phone, and he came across and started scrapping with them. Ollie McBurney, in the past 7 days, has withdrawn from the Scotland squad for the Euros because he's hurt his foot. His foot wasn't sore while he was kicking the fan who was filming him with his phone. I tell you now. So, Ollie McBurney is just like, you just don't want him near your football club. And they've also got the lad Brewster that they bought from Liverpool for 20 million, which has got to be the worst signing of the entire season. You know, just.
I know you're on up, Ryan Brewster.
Ryan Brewster. Just what a waste of money.
Bad ship on the show.
Waste of money. Waste of money.
Bad. Yeah, he's bad.
Yeah, Cruella's good for me with Sheffield United.
Right, so we'll do a hero now. Right, so we'll go. Not many heroes left, really. We'll do Tinkerbell. You know, the one's bright spark in the season. Do you reckon? Who do you reckon that's been? Tinkerbell. That bit of fairy dust that's brought into the season. There hasn't been much, has there, really? You know.
Do you know something? I think there's a one-man team that's crying out for Tinkerbell, and that'd be Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And with Jack Grealish being injured, who would sort of audition well for Tinkerbell, I hasten to add.
The way he's got his hair, his nice blonde.
Yeah, just the way he conducts himself. But
I'm jealous of Elton John, you know what I mean?
I know the feeling.
I know what you mean.
But they had a chance. They had a chance of top 4 or 5 at one point, and then Grealish got injured. They went on that horrible run, and actually, they're another team that've been entertaining to watch this season. When Grealish has been in it, they've been bloody awful when he hasn't. But Aston Villa fans having skirted relegation last season must be very, very happy. And I think Tinkerbell's a really good call for them.
Yeah, I think so. All right then, Tramp. Who are we giving the Tramp to? Who's been the scruffs?
Fulham. I think they've scrapped, but it just hasn't worked for them.
Who's that, Nick?
Fulham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, do you know something? I think we've said it all along. Fulham were so close to having a chance of staying up, but they just didn't have that quality to push on and get the points on the board. When you look at Newcastle now finishing 13th in the league on 45 points, and how close they were at one point to getting dragged into that bottom 3, and by luck, judgment, or the fact that they actually employed Graham Jones, did Newcastle, and Steve Bruce takes all the credit. But they got out of trouble. But Fulham played some really good stuff, and I'd like to know where Scott Parker's going to next. I think he's another English manager with a lot of potential, and I think he's probably learned a lot about himself this season. You can't play fancy football if you're getting beat every week, and he's perhaps got to look at how he sets his team up so they become a little bit more difficult to. Not so much difficult to beat because they had 13 draws and 20 losses, but they've got to win more games. They've won the same amount as West Brom. Five wins all season doesn't keep you up.
No. Like Captain Hook. Who's getting Captain Hook?
Tottenham. And I'll tell you why. Because when Mourinho come in, it was all about Smee.
Hey, I like it.
All right.
All about.
Do you know you've been waiting all night for that gag?
Yeah.
Well, just for that proper dad joke, you're getting it. Just for the proper dad joke that you're getting that one. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, do you?
Oh, I love that one. I love it. Right, okay, Maleficent.
Oh.
You got to think now, guys. Who is your Hercules? Who's your Mickey? You got to start thinking who them 2 teams are. And you need to vote tactically now because we're getting down to the bitter end of things.
Oh,
Maleficent. No. See, I'm with you, Charlie. This is why we didn't do it every week.
We come back to Maleficent just to see who's left.
Should we come back to right? Okay, right. We'll come back to Maleficent. We'll put Maleficent to one side here, right? So I'll tell you what we've got left, right? We've got Hercules. We've got Hades, right? They're the big ones. So that's the big hero and the big villain, right? We've got Mickey, who's going to who could get the award. Whoever gets that. We've got Scar. We've got Dumbo. We've got Flick. We've got Jiminy Cricket. We've got Snow White's mum queen. And obviously Maleficent, who we've put to one side for now. Who do you want to do now? Come on, who have you got down here now?
Dumbo.
Right, okay, let's go for it.
Everton. Overpaid, overpriced, overweight, and just completely sort of lacking the belief. Yeah, that believe and fly bit. If Everton were Dumbo, they would never have flown. They really.
I thought Dumbo meant like a team that was really flying high.
Ryan, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were going to win the league in October.
Okay.
Remember after after all that sort of singing and dancing malarkey, we were top of the league and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
We were like elephant
I
dumb
would,
by the end of the season.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with John because there's a song in Dumbo. Have you ever seen an elephant fly? No.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen Everton win a trophy?
I have. Holding up.
Sorry, John.
Yeah.
But all teams deserve it. It's,
It was.
that's what I'm going at.
It was a bad 4 years today. I wasn't expecting like a 5-0 trouble. Like I wasn't expecting that.
I was.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. What have Liverpool won in the last? Oh, actually, no, don't worry.
Right, okay. Let's do Scar. Let's get the bad boys out the way. Let's do Scar.
What teams have we got left?
We've got Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Brighton, and Burnley. Do you want me to take a screenshot of it and put it on for you? Let me do that for you. Okay, give us a sec. I take a screenshot now. So I'll get all the cameras as well.
Can you not put the league on one side and us on the other?
I can't do it. It won't let me do it. It's the
just sit in the middle. That's fine. That's all right.
It's software itself. It won't let me do it. So I'll do that. It gives a sec. Here it comes now. So we've got. Let's put that new one on.
Talk amongst yourself.
Yeah.
So the people in the chat, you put in the chat who you think should be Mickey and Goofy, for example. So do a vote in the chat because there's 6 people in the chat.
That'd be good.
You can tell us who your Mickey for the season is and who your Goofy is.
Right, guys. I'm really starting to remember why we didn't do this. Really starting to remember.
It's good though. It's just like, do you know when we did the first few shows doing this every week? And I'm thinking,
it was a nightmare because I was always all over the place trying to do. Here we go.
Let's skip this for season 2, guys. How about?
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely. Yeah. We don't skip it entirely, but we can bring it for the final show. But at least let's have a warm up of where we're going to put the characters, or at least not waffle on for half an hour before we try it.
See, look, even John's had enough. He's gone.
Even John's had enough. He's gone.
Right. So who was we going with? Maleficent. Oh no, Scar, wasn't it?
Scar. Yeah. So that's what we've got left. Right. That's what we've done up to now. So obviously you're gonna have to leave the top 3. I know. I've got my vote for the top 3, and Scar doesn't come into any one of them. So
I would probably say Burnley for Scar, just because.
Is it going to get burned in the end? Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's as good as logic as anything. Let's do that. Right, so I'll take that off again. So you got that now. You know where we're up to. So we've got Burnley as Scar. Right, okay. Really difficult. Really difficult. Right, so take that off. I don't know where John's gone. John's escaped.
He's gone. This show's an absolute joke. I'm not going to be associated with this anymore. That's it. He's just disappeared. Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back. Don't forget, he's got his earbuds in. He can hear you.
I was going to say that's the quietest I've been for every single show.
It's the most the rest of us have been able to talk, John.
I know, exactly. I got my reputation goes before me. It's funny.
I
To be honest with you, to the character that's on there, John, I'd give you Jiminy Cricket. You're the one who's always got the word in the ear, aren't you? So let's do Jiminy Cricket. Come on.
That's such a difficult one.
It's the one voice of reason, like Charlie explained it in one of the earlier shows. He was like the voice of reason, the one who was just kept it real. And do you know what I'm going to do? Right, I'm going to throw a name out here. I don't know whether Charlie in the States you see in the interview with Roy Hodgson, but it was a good interview. It's his retirement, and he's talking about I would have liked this to have happened, I would have liked that to happen, but you know what? It didn't. So I got on with it. I'm not one for taking fuss. I'm not one for messing about. Voice of reason, keeping it real. Roy Hodgson, Crystal Palace, Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What do you agree with Sarah with? What's Sarah put on?
Did you see her last comment?
I'm going to put it on now. Hang on.
She's not having that.
I, Mickey, would go to Liverpool with all the injuries we have, still finished third. Yes.
I think they should get the Pickford Award.
Do you know what? If we were in a boxing ring, John, that'd be loads
a trophy of a broken leg.
The Pickford Award for the one thing that you've blamed it on for the entire season. And actually, it wasn't Pickford's collision. We go back anyway. So Crystal Palace, Jiminy Cricket, totally agree with that. And actually, having met the chairman I've actually met the chairman at Crystal Palace. He's actually a very, very nice bloke. We got treated.
Is it Simon Jordan still got Crystal Palace?
No, Steve Parish.
Right, Steve Parish. Oh, the Redrow bloke. That's right.
Yeah. And you know, he's basically the face of a group of people who own the club. But we went down there a couple of years ago for the Everton game, and he treated us very, very well. And I've got to say, he was. You know, I think Hodgson's been quite poorly treated, but as a club, they need to move on, and they've got things to do over the summer. So, and Hodgson needs to move on. You know, I think now is the time for him to actually sort of draw that line and actually admit that he's probably got more years out of his career than anyone ever thought possible.
74.
Yeah.
74.
Yeah. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Anyway, to move things on, let's go flick. We've got Man City, Man United, Liverpool, top three. We've got Wolves, Southampton and Brighton. Flick, he's not the hero, he's not the villain.
Yeah, I think it goes with Wolves. Goes with Wolves. Done nothing else.
Yeah, Wolves or Southampton, isn't it?
Yeah.
But being there to annoy other people when the other teams have thought that they're going to go and roll Wolves over, Wolves have had them.
Yeah.
And again, another team as well. They sacked, didn't sack the manager. They agreed that the manager was going to leave this week. You know, and that leaves two. That's two jobs.
Going to Spurs.
Manager and assistant manager.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, I'd probably
we'll get on to him in a minute, Dick, but would you have him? Would you have Nuno at Spurs?
No.
He says no to everything. Guys, what are we going to do to get this guy to nod up and down like this? Yeah. I think Nuno's a good manager.
We'll probably let's get these teams out of the way, and then I'll have a quick rant about who the manager's going to be. But I'd probably say Southampton for Flick, because it's like when you go on holiday and you get into your apartment and you see it's full of annoying little ants. What do? You step on them, like most of the big teams have done this season. So there we go, Flick. Southampton.
Do you know, I said between Wolves and Southampton before, as John was going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I agree with Nick Moore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go. There you go, Nick. You've done that one.
There you go.
Right, we've got the Snow White Queen. We've got Brighton and Wolves. Liverpool, Man United, Man City.
Wolves.
Yeah, I'd agree because
'Cause they're
they've
ugly.
either been good or they've been bad, haven't they? They've never been the one or the other, have they? They've either been, beautiful football or they've just been the little Al Haggard witch with the little apple.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Definitely. Right. Okay. So let's do. Now we've got Maleficent. We can't put it to the side anymore because we've got the big hero, the big villain in Hercules and Hades and then Mickey Mouse. So it has to be Maleficent, and we've got 4 teams. We've got Man City, Man United, Liverpool, and Brighton.
Brighton's Maleficent.
I guess Maleficent.
I'd agree with you, Nick.
Yeah, I guess.
Got to be. Yeah. Great. Right then, guys. So we leave Mickey to the last. So one of the top 3 is getting Mickey for the season. Yeah. Now, don't forget, guys, we're one for the season here.
Yeah.
And I think we've got definitely 2 people going to vote one way because we both agree with my wife. So let's do Hades.
Burnley.
Gone.
Sorry, missed that.
We've got Man City, Man United, Liverpool. It's only going one place. Come on, guys. It can't be going anywhere. Come on.
We don't even get a choice, do we?
Man United. Come on.
Man United.
So Mickey on Man City and Liverpool. I think after the result today, and I think after winning the league as well, I don't think you could give anyone else the Mickey Award other than City. I think they've gone through one of the most arduous seasons that are known to in the history of football, I think, or history of sports, because all sports will have gone through it. Through this pandemic, they've managed the resources right, they've managed everything right, they've got it, and they've just been able to just push on, and they've won the title by 12 points. So what a canter, really. I mean, on judging on points total over the last couple of seasons that Man City and Liverpool have set, it wouldn't have got them anywhere near the title in the last 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah. But the fact that the season that they've had, I don't think you can go anywhere other than Mickey being Man City. Which means, Charlie, Liverpool are going to get the prize of
Hercules. That's good enough, yeah.
Can I just say a thing about City as well? Because I've said it a number of times over the year, this season, is the fact they've actually won the league without really slipping out a second gear.
Yeah.
And they went from that horrible start where everyone was saying, Pep out. There was October time where they just they just struggled to sort of October, November, they'd struggled to pick up the pace of the new season. And then they went on that amazing run where they just remained unbeaten in cups and the league for so long. And it didn't seem to matter how he rotated the squad, and he's rotated it continually. He's found a centre-half in Diaz, which, he paid was it 60 million or something. He looks absolutely superb. He's actually found another centre-half that they bought from Everton, in John Stones, who has had such a horrible time, either personally or mentally or whatever, and he's actually made him into being what hopefully will be an England international in the Euros, because he actually looks a decent centre-half once again, which is amazing. City have just, Gundogan has just come out of, he stepped up when De Bruyne was injured. That they've just, as a team, you can't ask for anything else. It's like having an ever evolving jigsaw in front of you, and the pieces change in shape. And what Pep's managed to do is he's chosen the right bit to fit in the shape that's needed for that week, and then to move on. And I've got to take my hat off to him, because there's been many a week where they've eked a result where perhaps they shouldn't. but they've played really entertaining football. And even to see them take my team apart completely today in what for them was just a practice game, was laughable. But they've done it to other teams as well. And I love watching City because I love watching the way that they press the game and the way that they actually set up and make they basically strangle the game. They make it impossible for you to find a pass to your own team, and it's a bit like playing sort of 5-a-side when the other team's got 11. You just got no one to pass the ball to. They've been brilliant. They really have, and I think as a football club they must be celebrating tonight something that is just a step forward for them. And I think I really do hope they go on and win the Champions League next week, because I think that would set them apart as a footballing club on a bigger level. And I think this season for them, like you said, Stephen, they really have been. They've been brilliant. They've been head and shoulders above other people.
Yeah, I'm just getting the final results up now of this season from this show. Where we go. I'm just getting the old captures. So just chat amongst yourselves while I do that.
Well, while you're doing that, can I just say a massive thank you to everyone who's joined us in the chat from every single week. Nick, you started in the chat. You're now on the show, and it's been brilliant having you on here. But also, what I'd like to say to the three of you, it's been such a delight of actually getting to know you online. And actually sharing this hour every Sunday, it's been brilliant. And Charlie, if nothing else, if it's just for you to talk football to three people in the UK, that's more than anything. For Nick, it's his weekly therapy. For Stephen, it's the fact that he's just proved the fact that he only invited me on in the first place is because he knew that Liverpool were going to finish above Everton.
That's right, John. It's the only reason I invited you on. It was, to be fair though, John, in the early start of the show, we started mid-season, so hopefully so next season will be great. We'll be able to start from the fresh of the whole season. And
but I mean,
I called you a Liverpool fan to begin with. I thought you were a Liverpool fan. That was over me. But me and Charlie put up with a lot at the start because we started this and Liverpool were just on this horrible run of winning home league games. It's really disgusting. Yeah. So
it's been an absolute delight getting to know all you guys, and
it's been a great show.
Or anything else, it's that reaching across to each other in what has been the most incredible football season. We're never going to see this amount of football on our TVs ever again.
Well, Charlie will, but we won't.
I know. Charlie come to the Sunday night and said, "How did you see it?" No, I missed that. It was a 3 o'clock game on a Saturday. We're not allowed to watch that.
All I'm saying is I'm getting VPN and I'm going to get a dodgy box.
Yeah. I think we all will.
We didn't hear that. People in the chat, no.
Obviously, no.
Pay for your fault.
Yeah. I'll pay for it. I'm only kidding. It's illegal. You can't do it.
It's not.
It's not big and it's not clever.
Yeah, it'll be fun next season to start with predictions and then see how we all did at the end of the season.
Yes,
that'd be great.
Let's do that. Let's get some predictions in. Let's go. Right. Where are we for the? Who's going to win the league next year? Who's going to finish in the top 4?
Yeah.
And here's one for you as well. Who's going to make what signings in the summer? Because this will be a prediction that we can get right off from the start when we start next season, see who gets it right and who gets it wrong. All right. And I'm serious on this, Nick. I'm going to put my prediction out there for Tottenham's next manager. I think Nuno will be your next manager. I think they'll go for Nuno. There's just something about that where he's handed it in mutual.
I know where you're coming from, Stephen.
It's a choice for free. It's free for me at the moment. and that would be Benitez, because he's already had talks with Tottenham. Ten Hag from Ajax, even though he's just done an extension with Ajax. And I think they're still after Brendan Rodgers.
I think Rodgers is the one that they would really like, and I also think after today, it's the type of display from Leicester where Rodgers is just thinking, I might just need to move myself on from here, because it's like history repeating.
Yeah.
You know, after last season losing out on the last day of the season, this season losing out at last day of the season, I've won a cup. I'll leave a little bit of a legacy here. Let's go and have a new adventure. And he had a great chance at Celtic. I've taken the job on at Celtic to win 9 and 10 in a row, and then he walked away from that when it could have defined his whole being for the rest of his life, and he decided that he wanted to go to Leicester. And I think after the performance today, I actually feel that Rodgers is going. I think he's on his way to Tottenham.
It's a good shout, that, because I was thinking if he got in the Champions League, if Rodgers had got in the Champions League, I didn't see him going.
Yeah.
Didn't see it go in Man U. The fact that he's missed out on the Champions League. Tottenham, much bigger club than Leicester. They have much better resources.
The thing is, though, right? If I may chime in, Leicester seems to me to be a lot more of a family club, where they all treat each other like family. I think they would appreciate Brendan a lot more than Tottenham has lately with their managers. Basically, they don't, basically tossing them out. They don't perform in the first 10 games or whatever, pretty much the ones that's worse is Chelsea, but but I don't know. I don't know how Brendan feels about Leicester. Has he been sucked into the whole family thing? Does he not want to? Is he going to want to take the next step with Leicester, thinking that he wants to? It's a family thing, because usually that means more. Like Liverpool to get a title or something, kind of like that's not to put anyone else down, but I think it just means more. And if Leicester, you get the feeling that it's the same type of thing, where Leicester, with their miracle win of the Premier League, like 4 or 5 years ago, that was a huge, huge thing, and it meant so much to win with Leicester. You think that Brendan would want to do that? Maybe, I don't know.
I think that's an absolutely brilliant thing to say, Charlie. And I was saying before about us doing the show, but the voice of reason coming from across in the US. We're all looking at it from an English perspective, but you absolutely nailed it there. Absolutely nailed it. That family bit, that whole family bit, has to go as being the biggest recognition, and I think that must be the thing that needs to. That probably Brendan Rodgers will be lying in his bed tonight, sort of swaying and thinking, do I take the risk and go to a club where I don't even know who the owner is, but Daniel Levy is the chairman, and he'll tell me how to do my job, or do I stick with what we've got here and build something special, and build something again and go again next season? That's a really good point, that, Charlie. And do you know something? I think that's. Yeah, I just as you were talking, I just put the odds up for the next permanent Tottenham manager, just out of interest, because you're very taught there, Nick, of Rafa. Because I thought Benitez to begin with. I just thought he was a really good mixer. He's 20-1, whereas Rodgers and Graham Potter are 11-2.
Graham Potter, I've seen his name.
Graham Potter, and I thought, well, and Nuno is 10-11 on.
I'm telling you, it's Nuno.
It is. Yeah.
Is Wenger in there anywhere? No.
Wenger. Come on, Charlie. What's your prediction? Tottenham's next manager. Well, let's get it down on paper. I'm going Nuno. I've got Nick as Benitez, and I've got John as Rodgers.
I'm
not gonna have Rodgers after Charlie's bit. I'm not having Rodgers. I've got another one. do that one first. Come back to me, and I'll tell you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to have a pound on them while you're talking.
I'm going with Rafa as well. Rafa Benitez.
Benitez.
Yeah. I always thought Tottenham and Liverpool were always, for a while there, they were just so much like sister clubs. They always went after the win. They always were punch them in the face, straight out football. They wanted to win, they wanted to play. So I think that would fit, wouldn't it? Rafa used to be that type of guy who used to just let his team go.
I think Rafa's a good fit for Tottenham.
I think so too.
I think you're dead right. There's a lot of similarities between Liverpool and Tottenham for me because they both want to play good football, play it right, and they strive for success. Just that one's been better than the other one.
I've just spent £1 while you've been talking.
Go on.
Now, this in my head at this particular moment in time, next Tottenham manager, Nick, Diego Simeone.
Oh, from Atletico, he just won the league. He just won La Liga.
There we go. You got me nodding.
For the second time, he's 40-1.
40-1.
Yeah, I might go and have another pound on him. But it makes, in my own head at this particular moment in time, he has got the passion, he's got the ability to put together a group of individuals and just make them play football for him, which is what Tottenham actually need. They need a leader who's going to come in, kick a few backsides, and not be egotistical enough to think it's all about him, but actually put together a system where you can outflank teams that are bigger and better than you, as he has done against Real Madrid and with Barcelona. And I don't know. To me, he would be somebody, if I was Daniel Levy, pick the phone up tomorrow and ask him how much it would take.
And he would have Harry Kane money coming too, right, to help him out.
I think if Simeone goes there, I reckon Harry Kane would stay.
Okay.
I really do think he would stay.
Yeah, I think he'd stay. I think if he's seen a manager like him come in, he'd think twice about going.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I think his head's turned. I think he's had his head turned, and I think he's got his heart set on City.
Oh, definitely. The other thing I would say, for the start of next season, the very first show of next season, what I've just said, I might appear the biggest amount of rubbish anyone's ever listened to. But in my head at this moment in time, he is the best fit for Spurs.
Yeah. So we'll pick our own team. So obviously, me and Charlie support the same team. So we'll both go for Liverpool. But signings, if you don't have a name a position that you think is key, and then we can see if at the end of the summer have we got it. I know, John, it's everywhere for you. 1 through to 11. There you go, John.
Who are we gonna give the Ursula Award to if Fat Sam is out of the league?
Oh well, Fat Sam wants to come back in. He gave up West Brom, didn't he? I think you're going to see a bit like Harry Kane. You're going to see a bit of a merry-go-round with strikers. I think you're going to see a bit of a merry-go-round with their managers as well. Because I think Tottenham will get someone from the Premier League. So you could, and dare I say it, sorry Wolves fans, but would Wolves then go and get Fat Sam if they're in trouble? Just saying. Without Nuno, would Wolves be mid-table right now?
Yeah.
That's just a thought, And Sam, for all the sins that Fat Sam has of being, just an anti-football, anti-entertainment kind of person, if you're a football owner, if you're an owner of a football club who's looking like going to get relegated from the Premier League, which is a big cash cow, you go and get someone like Sam. You do. You just go and get someone like Sam Allardyce.
Generally about December, January time.
Yeah, he could come
when that big red panic button is about to be pressed. Yeah, Big Sam must have a timeshare that takes him, August through to December. He goes to a place golf in Spain for 4 months until somebody presses the button. Telephone for Sam.
Right, come on, John. Right, where we going? We'll leave it on you, John. First, Everton. Name a player or a position that you think your team's going to sign in the summer.
We need another centre half desperately.
Centre half.
And a decent centre half. I'd as much as I love Mason Holgate, have done for a number of seasons. He's been found out big time this season. Michael Keane, on far too many occasions, has been found out. And they've been dead lucky that they bought Ben Godfrey from Norwich City last summer. Now, Ben Godfrey was basically bought as basically sort of a young lad, and as just sort of to basically sort of step in, and he replaced Digne at the start of the season when he was injured, and did a great job. But he's not been out of the team ever since. He's been fantastic. But we need someone else in there who's just going to organise that defence, because we're shocking.
Do you have any in mind?
No, I don't. Anyone who can play football would be sort of favourable to many of them there at the moment. And we need another centre forward, but they don't grow on trees. So.
Go on, Nick.
Centre half, definitely.
Another for you guys, centre half as well.
Yeah, purely because Sanchez is a complete liability.
And Dyer.
Yeah, well, Dyer by name.
Yeah.
And I'd probably say another central midfielder or an attacking midfielder.
Yeah. We've got loads of them. Do you want one of ours? I'll trade you one Dele Alli for a Tom Davis. Or if you're really lucky, I'll do you a Gylfi Sigurdsson. Gylfi Sigurdsson for Dele Alli. I'll tell you.
I'll take that swap. Definitely. I think. I don't know
hang
what's
on. I'll get my phone. My hot phone. My phone's hot. Give me phone to Carlo again.
Well, I probably do know what's wrong with Dele Alli. He's been outcast by Mourinho, but he's not showing any of the form that he had previously.
Yeah.
He's just another midfielder now. He's a little bit. He's turning into Harry Winks, but we need to get rid of him as well.
Oh, he was shocking today.
He was shocking.
No, he was awful. Yeah, he was lucky to not get a red card at one point today. Yeah. Do you know somebody? Do you notice, Nick? You notice like the two guys upstairs here, like, sort of just across there. They're both sitting there thinking they're sorted for next season. They've got all their injured players coming back.
I know. It's like
the only thing they're going to worry about is whether or not Salah or Mane decide that they're going to do the off ski in the summer.
They going nowhere, John. Do you know which side the bread's butter's on?
It's like it's like we get 6 or 7 superstars back. It's like signing, which if you were to go out and buy those players, they're like 80 million each or so. It's like it's like we're in a really, really sweet spot. The only thing I can think of with Liverpool is maybe a Wijnaldum replacement.
Yeah.
Someone who can run. I would say usually I wouldn't be worried because of Henderson and Milner, but they're getting up there, and they're.
I think Milner needs replacing properly. And he'd probably join the coaching staff, but he's the one. I don't think you're going to get. You're not going to get much out of Milner next season. I don't feel.
But I'm not too worried. We have Curtis Jones. He's young.
You'd be worried because, like I said in the start of the show, you've got young lads coming through that actually have shown that they've got the guile to actually battle at Premiership level. I think, and that's what upsets both Nick and I is when you look at our own clubs, when young lads get cast in, they look like rabbits in headlights. They don't have that guile and don't have that drive to actually compete at Premiership level, and that's a bit annoying.
It's the prep for them that the club needs to prep them for it.
Yeah.
Stick them out on loan. Get them that first team football experience. I thought Ali McNally got it spot on Sky Sports today. They were debating on, what would happen. Would Liverpool still be able to attract the top players if the worst thing happened in the Champions League? And he said, of course they would. I thought out of the 3 teams that were fighting for the Champions League, it probably meant more for the other 2 than it did Liverpool, because the fact of the injured players, we've got 10 players injured. And I'll be honest with you, the 10 players that are injured, they're only missing a goalkeeper. and it compete with the 11 that started today. Do you know what I mean? It's that good. We've got 2 really good teams already. So Charlie's going midfield at Wijnaldum replacement. I can't disagree with that. If Wijnaldum goes, we need to replace him. We need that midfielder coming in. But I think Curtis Jones can come in and do a job for us. I think he's getting there.
Yep.
We've already got Kanate coming for centre half. I think Nat Phillips has proved himself to be able to. In fact, I think he saved his money. I said earlier in the show, he saved his money. He saved his 18 million quid. We don't need to sign Kabak. It's simple as. So for me, the centre half positions are done. For me now, it's about supporting the attack, because what we've had this season is we've had Mane drop form, we've had Firmino drop form, we've had Jota, who's brilliant, getting injured. Salah has been the only consistent performer, but he hasn't scored constantly all the time. I think we've hit more shots off target than on this season by a long, long way.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see a real goal scorer, attacking, ruthless kind of person. And if we had the money, I'd certainly say I wish we could have the money to go for Harry Kane if he's available, as I've met Liverpool. But the problem I'd have there is we've got enough injury-prone people at Liverpool. Can we afford to have another one? Harry Kane definitely falls in that bracket. So for me, it's a forward. I won't say striker, because we don't have strikers at Liverpool. I'd say certainly a forward player to back up the 4 that we've got there now. That would be my thing that I think we'd spend the most money on, is going that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think we're going to wrap up now anyway. Nick's going to go. He's up at 5.
Great.
It's that Monday, isn't it?
It is.
It's that Monday. And I suppose it's something to discuss while we're off, because this is going to be the last game now. Last show for the Premier League season anyway. We could possibly be back for the Euros. We'll see how it goes, guys, in the chat. If we're all up for that, we'll go for it.
Yeah, even for the England games, we'll do something for the Euros anyway.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo John's comments from before. I think it's been brilliant this show, and I hope we continue it going forward and we start again next season.
I'm assuming that by Euros you're not talking about Eurovision, right?
No, we got no points.
UK nil
all the time, And shall we do manager of the season? Seeing Sarah brought it up before. Just one last thing before we go. We're on 45 minutes now, guys. So, Steve Bruce or Sam Allardyce, who gets manager of the season? Come on, John.
Survey says.
Yeah. For me, manager of the season goes to Jurgen Klopp, because he's a Red and he's kept that team going, and he's just a beautiful, beautiful guy. And, it's biased, I know, but I don't care. It's happening.
I thought about Jurgen, but again, I thought he messed up with the choices of.
He did.
So I'm going with David Moyes instead.
Oh, good call.
Boom, David Moyes. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, I think they did pretty dang well for a long time.
Season, so. They did. Go on, Nick. You go next.
It's just going to be Pep, isn't it? Let's be fair.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know? You go for Pep. I'm going for someone different. I'm going for Marcelo Bielsa, because I would love to be, like I said before, I'd love to be a Leeds fan, because my team has remained true to themselves. And even when you get beat, they get beat playing good football. And I can't complain about that. I hate it when my team doesn't turn up, but Leeds have always turned up. And yeah, there's been a couple of games have been picked apart, but the following week, he'll put the same 11 out, and they have the same plan, and they'll go and thrash somebody by 3 or 4, and it's just been brilliant to watch. It's just like free flowing, really entertaining, and to consider they only came up from the Championship last season. They look brilliant, and it all goes back to that manager. And I think he's one. If Leeds can keep hold of, then Leeds can push forward next season as well.
Good shout, guys. Good shout. But I think we better leave it there. It's been great, as always.
It's been superb. Really has.
Enjoyed this season. Really enjoyed it. We're going to have a couple of weeks off now from doing it. So if you're interested in if our predictions come right, don't forget, keep an eye out. We'll be back again, and we'll see who made a fool of themselves and who didn't. Until then, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.